TikTok and YouTube. When you come on, please tell us hello. Tell us how you're doing today. Tell us where you're from. If you're watching right this very second on Facebook, it's likely you're watching the replay. Please put hashtag replay in the comments and tell us where you're from. We'd love to know that. So I am going to make a bridal bouquet, and it's going to be a very wildflower bridal bouquet. And I'm going to be honest, I have not really made bouquets like this one before. So I've had a lot of practice today. I actually made 8 of these bouquets. This is for the bride, but I have done all the bridesmaids bouquets today, and they're kind of in the same shape, in the same wildflower theme. So I thought I would do that with you guys. I do have Owen and Victoria here, so if you have questions or comments, y'all please talk to me as we work. It just makes it so much easier and a lot more interesting when we all talk. So if you can see my desk, I have got tons of flowers here and just a lot of different varieties. We've got some mini green hydrangeas, which are these mini greens. We've got some peach shimmer roses, just a few. I have salvia, and this is Sweet William. I actually purchased that. I purchased it in a pot from Lowe's, and I cut it to make it work for our arrangement today. I've got some salvia that I bought from Lowe's also. Anyway, lots of pretty flowers, and we'll kind of go through them. Why is it every time I get on a video, my nose itches? That drives me crazy. Okay, we are going to start out with a little bit of Italian ruscus. So I actually watched another designer make a bouquet similar to this, and she began with her Italian ruscus. So I'm going to take my Italian ruscus, and I am going to pull the foliage off the bottom. Now, if you have flowers to wear, any kind of small floral arrangements that you can use the Italian ruscus in, save these in a little box. Add a little water to them, and these are wonderful to use in your flowers to wear. Actually, we've already done our bouquet, our corsages and bouquets, so I'm going to just toss it. I'm going to take my Italian ruscus, and I am going to kind of crisscross it in my hands.
On YouTube, Melinda is watching from California.
Hello, Melinda, welcome.
Miss Shirley says hello from Centerville, Alabama. Love to watch you. You make some pretty arrangements. I get great ideas from
Oh,
you.
I'm so thankful. Thank you for being here, Shirley. Thank you. Okay, so here is my Italian ruscus, and I just kind of gathered it in my hand. It kind of looks a wild mess, but that's kind of what we want. We want it kind of wildflower, so I just gathered it in my hand, just like that. Next one I'm going to do, I don't know why my allergies all of a sudden flare up in the middle of a video. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of, this is a eucalyptus. It's a gun-eye euc, so I'm going to catch a little bit of that and tuck it in my hand also.
Rhea Norman says Princess Catherine had Sweet William in her bouquet when she married Prince William.
Really? That is so cute, though. That's perfect to marry Prince William, wasn't it? Okay, so there's our greenery. So our greenery is ready. Next, I'm going to, I do have a little pittosporum for just in case, so I'm going to lay it to the side because I may need it. And a little more greenery I'm going to lay to the side for just in case.
Miss Shelley Easley says, good afternoon all. My first live in a long while. My health has gotten in the way. Texas has continued to heat up for the summer.
I am so sorry you haven't felt well. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so my Italian ruscus is it's just kind of dull, and it almost looks like it has water spots. So I'm going to take just a little bit of green glow, and I'm going to pop that foliage just a tiny bit so that it doesn't look dirty. Okay, so I just popped my foliage with a little bit of green glow. Green glow is just a plant shine. We use it on foliage and on green plants. You don't want to spray it on your flowers because you don't want your flowers shiny. But it does clean up that foliage really well. All right, next we're going to come in with a few of these green hydrangeas. I'm not going to take all of the foliage off. I'm going to take a little bit, but not all of it. And I am just going to work that right down into that bouquet.
Miss Angie Ham says, hello, Monty, you look stunning today. Love your gorgeous blouse. Love to watch you arrange. This bouquet will be gorgeous.
Thank you, friend. Thank you for being here. All right, so I'm going to use 3 green hydrangeas. So it's just 3 little green hydrangeas, just as a little bit of weight there in the center.
Thank you for following Miss Peggy.
All right, so there's our 3 green hydrangeas, and you can see I'm just holding everything in my hand. It's going to be pretty flat on the back side, but this is the style of bouquet that she showed. She sent me several pictures of this style, so that's what we're going to work with. And again, I've never done this before, so I practiced a little bit today, but it kind of will give you an idea. Okay, next we're going to come in with a little bit of solidago. So I'm going to take and strip that foliage off the stem and just kind of tuck it in my hand.
There's a question for the spiral method. I struggle with how to place my stems and holding them steady. Any tips?
I'll be honest, I've never really mastered spiral. So this is really not going to be a perfect spiral. I've never mastered it. So I'll have to work on it and practice to give you more details because I was never really taught the spiral method, honestly.
Bloom and Love Flower Shop, thank you for following us.
All right, so there's our little solidago. And you can always, I try to keep my hands where it's not so tight that I can't adjust the flowers as I go. Okay, so there's our solidago. Next we're going to come in with a little bit of yin yang daisies. So this is supposed to be very wildflower, but you know when you buy flowers from your local wholesaler or from Budsy, where I buy most of my flowers from, they don't really carry lots of wildflowers. So go ahead, Owen.
Miss Josie says, will it be wrapped or in a vase?
It will be, this will be wrapped, and then we'll drop it in a vase. It will have, I'm not wrapping it all the way down. Okay, so I pulled off some of the stems. These are called yin yang daisies. They are sweet little tiny daisies with a little dark center. I love them. We actually use these for the boutonnieres.
Miss Melody's Customs and Mr. Johnny both followed us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here.
Dawn Miller asks if we have a wedding this weekend.
It's just a really small one, Dawn, and it's just the personal flowers. So that's the reason we're going to make this beautiful bouquet with you. So I tucked one in, and I'm going to come in and tuck another. So it's just going to be...
Allison says her Facebook page got hacked and there was no way for her to log in because they changed all of her info. She's very upset and mad. She had to create another page really fast so she could watch the live.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Allison.
Joan Arthur asks, have you ever watched Passionate Flowers in the UK? It might be Spiral.
I'll have to check them out. I really have not. Okay. So there are our yin yang daisies, and again you can always kind of adjust them as you need to. Okay. Next we are going to come in with a couple of stems of our yellow spray roses.
Miss Karen asks if you ever use the bridal hand holders.
No, ma'am, not much. Now, I have before, but I don't like them at all. And a lot of it is because I'm so afraid. There's lots of flowers that go down in a bouquet, and I am so afraid they're just going to fall apart. So I have not, honestly, we worked with them a little bit in school, but I've been out of school for a long time. Quite a few years. And so they just have always made me nervous, and I've always sold brides on a hand-tied bouquet. Okay, so a couple stems of yellow
Heather Reeves says she's happy she caught you live. Haven't been on a live in a while as my husband has been very unwell. Always seem to be at hospital appointments. Hello to all from New Zealand.
I'm so sorry he's been sick. We will certainly keep him in our prayers. Okay, so this is Scabiosa flower. And if you have watched us for any time, you know we have a cat named Osa. He was named for these flowers. So I have it in white and I have it in a soft pink. And so I'm just going to tuck these in here. And again, I'm going for a wildflower look, so it's not going to be symmetrical and all the things, okay?
Miss Julie says, I just bought a fluted milk glass vase today at the Antique Mall. I can't wait to arrange flowers in it.
Oh, I want to see pictures. I bet it will be beautiful.
Oh, a few people have missed the beginning and want to know what it's for.
Okay, so this is a bridal bouquet for a wedding this weekend. She is going for a very wildflower look. And so we have lots of, it's going to be very wildflower looking. Just lots of whimsy. Scabiosa comes with this little straw. Take it off because I don't like what it looks like, but it's a little straw that tries to keep those little heads. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can see that Scabiosa in there. See how it kind of has some movement. I'm going to trim my stems.
Miss Mary Lou wants to know how everyone is doing today.
Miss Mary Lou, we are good. Thank you very much. How about you, friend? Okay, I've got some. I went out and cut some millet, so I have some millet. Let's go with some ranunculus. Let's see if we can't tuck those down in. So these are pretty pink ranunculus. They're a little short. That's kind of concerning, so I'm going to tuck him pretty deep.
Miss Anna says it's a beautiful bouquet.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
On YouTube, Miss Charlene is watching from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Hello, Charlene. Welcome. Does that make you happy, Victoria?
Yes. I've been looking at my phone, and so it's advanced since I last saw it. Kristen Weaver says, love the movement you can incorporate with the wildflower theme.
Yes, yes, it really is nice. So I'm kind of holding it up against myself because it gets a lot of stems, so it gets kind of heavy. Not so heavy as awkward.
Kyle Fletcher wants to know if we've had a busy day today.
We have been steady. We're working on event things than anything. Okay, so I've got our ranunculus. I've got our Scabiosa. We've got our yin yang daisies. Pull him up just a little bit.
Miss Linda Sue on YouTube says this is very pretty and natural.
Thank you. So I'm just kind of adjusting just a little bit. Okay, next we're going to come in with a little bit of the Sweet William. So I'm going to take, now this Sweet William is actually, I don't know if y'all knew this, but it is in the Dianthus family, which is in the Carnation family. So we're just going to kind of nestle some right low.
Grace says, please let me know when you do a jigsaw puzzle arrangement.
I sure will. I promise I'm going to do it. I just have not gotten around to finding us a puzzle pieces, but I promise we'll do it. We'll write that down. All right, so in my front flower bed, I planted some cosmos. I planted just so this is salvia. And I'm just taking it and kind of coming around the base. We just want it really wildflower. Salvia I just purchased at Lowe's also in a pot, and I just cut it and I'm tucking that in low. So I planted a wildflower seeds, and so I have some cosmos, and I have some bachelor buttons that I thought we would tuck in, and I've got to sneeze. Excuse me.
Tiny Ben Kettle says, "Hi, will you say hello to my mother, who loves your work? Her name is Shirley from Alabama."
Hello, Shirley from Alabama. So glad you're here with us. Thank you for being here and watching. We appreciate you so much. All right, so this is wax flower. We're going to tuck a little wax here and there. I like some height, some movement.
Cam Aldridge says, I love this arrangement. Thank God tomorrow is Friday. It's been a long week.
Has it? It hasn't been terribly long here. It doesn't seem. I'll say that today.
Miss Amy says hi from Michigan.
Hello, Amy.
Miss Margaret says, my carnations are out and my kitchen is smelling gorgeous.
Oh, I bet it is. All right, so we've still got some more things to put in here. Let's see. I'm going to turn
Do you
it
need
on.
me? If you need me to hold it.
I think I got it.
Okay.
So I have a mirror over here beside me so I can kind of see where I need something. Okay, so I'm going to come in with a few roses. So I thought these peach shimmer roses were really pretty. So I'm going to, are we already dark?
Yep.
It hasn't been very long, has it?
Really early. Miss Linda Sue on YouTube asks, how do garden flowers hold up in bouquets?
They've really held up well. I've played with them all day, and I've left them out on the counter. And so we're not having any issues with them holding.
Leah Norman asks, is that a cornflower?
No cornflower. I have bachelor buttons, cosmos,
Miss Amy says she got to the party late. Are you making a bridal bouquet?
I am, yes, Amy. I'm making a bridal bouquet. And it's supposed to be very gardeny and whimsical. Is it looking that way?
Ooh, it's pretty. Christian Weaver says, I haven't heard of Sweet William in years. Mom used to grow the short version.
Yes, yes. It's so pretty. These ranunculus. I made a bouquet this morning, or actually it was this afternoon, with the ranunculus and I took a picture. I think I posted it, but it is for just a bridal shoot. They were going to take pictures, and it is so pretty with those ranunculus. It's kind of in the same shape.
Cam says, I have some good news. I'm going to Campty, Louisiana. He says, we haven't planned to stop by Flowers by the Bunch to meet y'all in person.
Oh my goodness, Cam. Let me just say, we are not that impressive, okay? When you get here, I'm scared that you're not going to be very impressed. But we would love to have
That's
you.
so exciting.
That's exciting. Ooh, I love the movement. Okay, so you can see where I kind of tucked a bachelor button here and a cosmos there. So it's got a lot of movement, and I love that. I don't want to get too clogged up. We don't want too many flowers. So the rest of the things that I'm going to tuck in are not going to be too close. So I did cut some Queen Anne's lace and some different millet. So this is just a grass seed that I cut, and so we're going to leave that kind of tall and with some movement. And then this is just more grass seed that we cut.
Miss Dolores on YouTube says, hello everyone, happy to watch you live today.
So glad you're here, Dolores. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, Miss Margaret asks, is the blue on the table the cornflower?
Nope, it's actually, this is a bachelor button. It's a little bachelor button. But he's a little short, so I'm afraid to tuck him in.
Oh, Miss Lenny says, yes, you are impressive. She's been in here. So
We're not so impressive. You just love me, Lanice. Okay, so this is something that we cut out of the yard. I want to say it's going to be in a, I love it when my mind goes, it's almost like an aster, like a Monte Cassino aster, but it was just a wildflower that was growing. And so I'm going to tuck it in, but see how sweet and pretty that is. It reminds you a lot of chamomile, or feverfew, but it's not, but it really is pretty.
Miss Loretta Pyle says, beautiful bouquet. My hands hurt just watching you hold that
Watching
thing.
me work with it.
She says it takes her back 40 years.
It is tough. That's the hardest part, is trying to hold them, isn't it? And trying to keep adding stuff.
Thank you for following, Miss Rachel.
Ooh wee, this might be, I say it every time, this might be the prettiest one we've ever done, Victoria. But I say that every time. Maybe I did. Why not, right? Okay, so there's Queen Anne's lace, but it's really big. So
Miss Lenny says, I do love you.
you just love me.
Allison loves the movement. Miss Charlene on YouTube also says she loves the fun movement. Belle's Bliss Design says it's been forever since she caught alive.
Hello, friend. We have missed you.
Miss Kathy Simpson also said it's been a while since she caught alive.
So glad y'all are here. Okay, so these are little black-eyed Susans, is what we call them. Now, I'm praying that they'll hold up. I'm going to watch them before we deliver this, or they come and pick it up. But look at that little dark center. So I'm stripping off any of that foliage. Oh, that's my favorite part. That little black-eyed Susan is my favorite part.
Miss Ann Stewart on YouTube says, good afternoon, ladies. Glad to finally catch you guys live. Beautiful.
Hello. So glad you're here, friend. And this is one of those types of bouquets that you could just keep adding, honestly. When would you quit? Right? When do you quit? So with all of the girls' bouquets, I made those all very different. And I say very different. There were some elements that were all the same. Like, I did put the same pink ranunculus all the way through, but I changed the colors of the roses. And then we put the Queen Anne's lace and the black-eyed Susans and the white yin-yang daisies. But it still had some things that were different. Honestly, that's probably plenty, isn't it?
Rhea says, I think this is one of the most beautiful bouquets
Is that
ever.
not the prettiest bouquet? I think this might be the prettiest one I've ever done. Okay, I think we're done. I think it has a lot of movement. I think it has enough foliage. And what I'll do is I will tape it together and show you how to tie the ribbon. And if it needs more, we'll add more later. But I think that it has enough, because I'm afraid if you keep adding, you're going to cover up the flowers that are in there. Here's a little more millet. I think I'm going to tuck a little more of it in. So this is all just grass seed. So my parents live out in the country, and they live on a farm that has what my sister calls pasture weeds. And so that's where we go and cut Queen Anne's lace and different things. But it has a lot of those grass seed, which gives us a lot of movement in there. Okay, I'm going to slide everything over. Slide it all over. And I am going to take some waterproof tape. And
Miss Lindsay and Miss Addie both followed. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all for being here.
And Miss Kelly shared the live. Thank you so much.
So I am just taking waterproof tape and I am coming around those stems.
Thank you for following Miss Sherry.
And I probably overkill with that tape, but I think it's really important that it stays together. And then what you're going to do is clean all this up.
On YouTube, Melinda Hodge says that is the most gorgeous wildflower handheld bouquet ever. She says, "Wow, lucky bride."
Oh, y'all, I was so excited to see these pictures. I was a little nervous, though, because I really wasn't sure I was going to be able to pull off the wildflower look with such common flowers here in the flower shop. But we did order specifically the Scabiosa pods, the wax flower, the ranunculus, and then it all just kind of fell together with the things I was able to harvest, and the Queen Anne's lace and the millet and all the things. Now this is a bouquet that she's going to hold. You can hold it really any way. She can hold it right in front of her. You can hold it down to the side. But I love that it has so much movement. And I love the shape where it's not just a traditional round bouquet. Again, that might be one of the prettier ones I've ever done. And this millet's not going to stand up, so I'm pulling it out. It's just wanting to lean over. So there's no need in it being in there. Just take that out. Okay, so I have a double-faced satin ribbon. I'm going to lay my bouquet to the side. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take a good bit of ribbon. And I'm going to...
Miss Sherry says that it's so pretty.
Thanks, Sherry. Thank you, thank you. My ribbon. And I just came around. I put it, I kind of figured out where it was pretty even on both sides. And I am just going to wrap it right around this bouquet stems. And I'm going to come around just several times, just kind of crisscrossing. Nothing fancy, just make sure that it's wrapped. Now, most often I do not leave hanging down tails, but in the pictures she did have hanging down tails. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to tie it in a really tight knot. And then I'm going to take and trim my tails and give it a dovetail. So I like to take the ribbon and fold it in half, just like that. And a little
Monica?
dovetail cut.
Monica says, "I missed the beginning of the live. Did you wire the ranunculus?"
I did not wire the ranunculus. They have plenty of support with all of the other flowers in here. And so I did not wire the ranunculus because they're supported by all the other flowers. But now you absolutely can wire them, but I really didn't feel like they had to be. I didn't wire any of the flowers that are in there.
Linda Sue on YouTube says, "After the Queen Anne's lace shows that you did last year, I've planted some in my yard. It's blooming now and I love it."
Don't you love it? It's a wonderful thing to cut. Now it does shed. You'll find that it is going to shed a little bit, but wow, it's so pretty in arrangements. And there's so many different varieties of Queen Anne's lace. Now here in Mississippi, the type that grows wild is just the white. But it does have, you can get it in like a pretty maroon color, almost a chocolate color. Lots of pretty colors.
They're saying it's beautiful. We have a few new, it's the first time they've caught us live.
Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. We are so excited that you're all watching. Thank y'all for being here. All right, are there any more questions?
Good.
Okay, so the flowers I did use include roses. I used a shimmer rose, which was kind of that peach colored rose, that really pretty peach. I didn't want to go with a pink. I did use a little pink in some of the others, but I knew I was going to use the pink ranunculus, so that's why I went with that shimmer on the roses. We used some cosmos that was in my yard. I actually cut it out of my flower garden this morning, and when I say flower garden, it's not really, it's a flower bed. It's not a garden. These are called bachelor buttons, that little purple. Scabiosa flowers, those are pink and white in here, but we did get in some really pretty plum colors, so pretty. These are white yin yang daisies, which I thought really pulled. I love them. They just make me happy. These are, we call them black-eyed Susans here in Mississippi. I'm not sure what they're called in other places, but those grow wild. Queen Anne's lace, which is that white lacy flower at the top. Some mini green hydrangeas. They're kind of tucked deep. You can't hardly see them. Yellow spray roses. I put a little Sweet William, a little salvia, solidago, some waxflower, and I want to say that this is just a white aster that grows wild. And then this greenery here is just a millet. It's just a grass seed that grows wild. And then our foliages, we used a little bit of eucalyptus and some, my mind just so went like Italian ruscus. All these things in this bouquet.
Miss Kathy asks if you are going to cut the stems more
Yes,
for her.
I am actually going to cut them with my cutter, and I'll put them down in water. We do have a lot of short stuff, so it will be pretty short stems. And when they come to pick it up, they're going to pick up all their flowers. And when they come to pick it up, I will go over exactly how to hold your bouquet. So anytime you're holding a bridal bouquet, any type of bouquet, you always want to hold it at your waist. Hold it at your belly button. You probably don't even call it a belly button, your navel. Hold it at your belly button, okay? You're always going to want to have your elbows almost sitting on your hips. Always hold it down. A lot of times brides are excited and they're going down that aisle and it gets right up here in their face. Bridesmaids do it too. You'll find they're going to have it up here like a microphone. Hold it down. We want to see your beautiful face. So it's very important that anytime you're working with a bride, talk to them, explain to them that it's important that you hold it down. But it really turned out beautiful. I'm very excited to go out and take pictures, and I'll show you the pictures.
The Lyrical Lily says, catching you here on TikTok. Just
Hello,
watched her high
sweet
schooler
friend.
graduate. She just watched her high schooler graduate.
Did you? I'm fixing to head to do that tomorrow. Micah Thomas graduates tomorrow. Congratulations, Mama. Y'all did it.
Miss Michelle asks, what is the cost of a bouquet that size?
This one's $125, I believe.
And then a couple people think it's beautiful, but they're wondering, I think about the long green.
The long green, I'm going to trim it. I'm going to look at everything. It's hard when I'm this close to all these cameras and to see it perfectly, but yes, I'll trim it up. This guy right here, right?
I think so.
Boop. Is that better? Yeah, it's just hard when I'm right here on top of it. And what I'll do is I'll probably have Victoria hold it and I'll adjust anything that needs to be adjusted.
Yep. That's it.
All right, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, thank you. If you have any questions about anything we do, you can always ask. In any of these platforms, there is always a place where you can ask us questions. TikTok, if you would check us out on both of our other platforms. We are on Facebook and YouTube, where we do videos just like this every single day on Facebook, and the same 2 times a week on YouTube. Guys, thank you, thank you. I will be back in the morning to do a devotion at 8 o'clock over on Facebook. Y'all join me then, and then we'll do some more flowers tomorrow.